Today on the topic show, Vivek on Democrats' southern border policy goes viral. Bud Light Wild Ride is wildly boring. DeSantis goes viral for his voter increase as governor. Anheuser-Busch Super Bowl lineup is roasted. McDonald's CosMc's nearly triples McDonald's. Levi Strauss to lay off between 10 and 15% of their employees. And the pink Stanley Cups actually contain some lead. All of that and much more on the topic show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode Topic Show is sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. I say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January, so click that button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have McDonald's CosMc's nearly tripling the number of visits compared to the traditional McDonald's. Now, the McDonald's spin-off CosMc's actually opened up a little over a month ago with about 10 locations, and they're going to be testing a couple of them more throughout the United States. A little news article thanks to Fox Business. Going to help us out with some of the details here. Now, that is my theory behind the whole idea is obviously they want to make more profit, increase their revenue, but they also want to compete with Starbucks, one of the most wildly successful companies in history, perhaps the most successful company in history when it comes to the success of selling coffee. And there are a lot of benefits of selling coffee as opposed to fast food items such as hamburgers, french fries, and other salty snacks, such as the time to sale as well as the consumption period. Usually they're drinking the coffees off-site. And again, McDonald's, they're in a very tough situation. Thanks to a myriad of variables, including the government causing hyperinflation, there's no such thing as a dollar menu anymore, really. And a lot of the items there are no longer as profitable as they used to be, and they're increasing the price. And the price point for people that shop at McDonald's, they're very sensitive to those price point increases. And it's gotten to the point where they're actually not even going to allow you to fill up your own soda, or as some might call it, pop, at McDonald's in the future. In fact, I believe starting this year, all future McDonald's locations will actually have the corn syrupy drinks behind the counter for the employee to do it, because they're actually starting to lose money with consumers doing more and more of those refills. And the margins are that bad. It used to be highly profitable to sell soda, and again, it's still, for many restaurants, a big point of profit. But for McDonald's, they're starting to lose money on it, so they have to put it behind the counter. So they're on attack from all fronts, and of course you have increased labor costs. In California, their minimum wage now is $20 to flip burgers, which is astronomical, not competitive, and interestingly enough, will help fuel the research, development, and deployment of AI technologies as well as robotics technologies in the fast food industry. As again, you can't increase the cost of labor so much without increasing the cost of the goods sold, aka the food, and which would thereby drive customers away, because again, after a certain price point, people are not going to shop at McDonald's. Now, back to the actual CosMc's concept, that was playing on nostalgia. It apparently was a mascot a couple years ago, and again, nostalgia sells, and it's going to be their fast concept for basically Starbucks. Cheaper coffee, and they'll have little snacks like Starbucks, but cheaper, easier to produce, more profitable. Now, in terms of the data that they're starting to get back, it looks like, and this is according to Placer.ai, one of the reports that they published a couple days ago, they say, quote, Placer's data suggests that CosMc's saw more than a double the number of visits than a typical McDonald's saw chain-wide during the December 2023, despite only being open since December 7th, more than triple the number of visits per square foot, which is, again, is important because, again, real estate is expensive, though the most successful real estate company in history is McDonald's. Gotta love pop-ups, right? Well, not so much. Now, it'll be interesting to see once we get to the sales figures, because again, that data is not available at this time. They also note that, they're starting to go after a younger audience, and that appears to be working with this new concept. And again, there is a market out there for people who don't want to pay expensive prices for coffee. Not everyone can afford $7 to $12 to $20 for a cup of glorified sugar water with some coffee beans sprinkled in. So Starbucks isn't the option for everyone. Now, traditionally, I would have thought the biggest competitor would be something like a Dunkin' Donuts. Though anecdotally speaking, I think I've seen one in the past few years. Now, McDonald's has more resources than many can possibly fathom, and they could easily just copy and paste this concept throughout the US. And given the price point and the profit margins for coffee in general, and the fact that they can sell this item more frequently, faster, more efficiently than something like traditional food, like fast food French fries or hamburgers or whatever else they sell there, then it could be actually a better overall business plan for the company moving forward. Now, there are also some fun comments here in the Fox News business, so we'll read a couple too. So what's the general feedback from the public? Are people, I mean, this is extremely viral. Someone actually waited, I think it was like 6 or 8 hours in line to go to this place. The power of nostalgia is key. Now, one of the top comments comes from Elena Elias. It says, quote, "Of course they do it because it's a new. This happens with new restaurants all the time, but the novelty wears off. Check it again in 6 months to a year," unquote. I got 38 likes, and that is true. There's the power of new. It's going to have a big increase in your sales, but still, I mean, 2x and 3x are pretty important figures. Even if you shop off 20% of that or 30% of that, that's still a very impressive growth rate and a lot of potential business. Baba Lulu says, quote, "Never forget that when Mickey D came out with the quarter pounder, A&W came out with the third hamburger, and it never sold. The public thought a quarter pounder had to be bigger because oh geez Louise, the grammar is abhorrent. But nevertheless, I'll reword it. So they say the public thought that the quarter pounder had to be bigger than the 1/3 because of the number 4, which again also shows the mediocrity that the public school system is in the United States in many ways. Not all, but seems to be. There's a reason the ACT scores are 32-year low, yet the teachers' unions want more money. No matter how much money, they just have worse performance. Fascinating how the union is doing that. But yeah, that's sad and true. That did happen. A&W, because again, they don't teach many things in public school. If you convert it to a decimal, maybe that's more palatable for some people. Quarter pounder is 1/4, that's 0.25. Now 1/3 is 1 out of 3, that's 0.33 repeating. 0.33 is greater than 0.25. We have now contributed more to mathematical society and public education than some public schools, which is quite concerning. But nevertheless, Buffalo says, quote, "It baffles me how people complaining about the economy continue to eat through a window at exorbitant prices," unquote. Getting 36 likes, which, yes, that is very true. And granted, these restaurants as well as convenience stores, they also take EBT cards. There are a lot of people who use government funds to fuel these food, some say it's a food addiction. But yeah, it is fascinating to see on social media and all these websites, people always complain how bad the economy is. They always complain how short their paycheck is. And they'll go out and they'll buy fast food. They'll eat at a restaurant, which is one of the most imprudent financial decisions you can make in your lifetime. Some of those things where, personally, anecdotally speaking, I think I've gone out once in the past 24 months, like paid for food. The only other exceptions would be business expenses. If I'm with a customer or prospective client, then I will go out to a restaurant and I'll treat them. But yeah, just for the bang for your buck just isn't there like it used to be. You could eat at home cheaper and healthier most of the time. But we'll do one or two more. Let's see here. A couple of people talking about nostalgia. Fox News 99, appropriate enough user, they say, quote, "New and shiny, this shall pass," unquote, getting 29 likes. Let's see here. Let's see, a couple of other people saying how this reminded them of their childhood. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of the day, how much does this really increase the overall revenue, sales, and profit for McDonald's? Is this perhaps a future? Could it? Let me know in the comments. Do you think this will be a business threat to Starbucks? Again, personally, I think there are two wildly different audiences and customer bases. I don't think the person who's willing to pay $7, $8, $12, $20 for a premium cup of coffee, or some might argue sugar in a cup with a little bit of 1 or 2 coffee beans, I don't think that's the same person that wants to get that, $1 or $2, $3 price point coffee from, I was about to say McDonald's, now CosMc's. It'll be interesting to see, but as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January, so if you can click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback to let me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.